finished packing or unpacking and just putting my stuff away. I'm a little bit tired after the journey, but I wanted to do an improv live stream to just talk about my time out in Norwich and with coming back. What is for good now, which is a really good thing, and I'll get to it. But this also coincides with, I think, just a really good topic that guys who haven't yet entered or been part of a dating community, they always, I think, get the impression, or what most people get the impression of, is that the dating community is just literally about dating. You're only coming in it to learn how to meet women or attract women and blah, 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 And I think people overlook the fact that you are joining groups or communities of other guys who are in the same boat as you, that they are also struggling, maybe either with their mental health, or more importantly, they're struggling with the ability to connect with other people, and they want to get better. And they want to have girlfriends, they want to have relationships, or they just want to have a bit of fun, because they've watched everyone else have fun and they, want to do it themselves. But I think growing up for me, before entering the dating industry, there was always this idea that I wanted like a really great social circle of friends, and I never really had that growing up. I was kind of, don't get me wrong, I had like social circles, I had groups of friends and stuff, but I was always like the really shy kid in school. And when I got into the pickup world, like with most people, it brings you out of your comfort zone, it develops your confidence, and yes, you become this like more self-actualized version of yourself. But I at the beginning still struggled to have friends, and it wasn't until really I think I'd started the filming business back in like 2013, 2014, along with doing the pickup stuff, that I just started meeting people that, I got on well with, and I developed friendships and stuff as well. And I think that really helped to optimize my own confidence with having relationships with women. And I've seen the same thing happen with other guys as well, that when they all start off, and I'll and count myself in this as well, but everyone starts off entering the dating community thinking that they are just going to come into it and learn how to date and meet women. But I think the bigger picture that most guys don't tend to realize is that you tend to make a lot of friends along the way. You tend to meet other guys who you've got similar, maybe geeky interests in. You've just got things in common, like personality wise, or you just like the same sort of things. And the people who really have the most successful experience when they've done, I suppose, anything pickup related or joined whatever sort of communities that are out there in the world, that the guys who really thrive and are most successful are the ones who actually make friendships along the way. And I'll admit this sounds really woo woo, but it's true. Most guys, they don't think about the friends that they could make. They don't think about the lifelong friendships. And in fact, this is why I had been in Norwich. I can't recall if I'd actually done a live stream on it at all or not before, but my best friend that I've had for about 7, 8 years, we actually met through doing cold approaching, and through doing or being part of the world of pickup. So my best friend Owen, who lives out in Norwich at the moment, at the time he was like, in fact, it used to be one of Sam Overton's clients. So if you've ever heard of Sam Overton, or a guy called, or whose business is called Fluid Social, I actually met Owen when he was a client for Sam, and we were actually filming YouTube videos of him for Sam's YouTube channel at the time. And like with most guys in this industry, all you ever talk about is like pick up, day game, cold approaching, all of this sort of stuff. And I think our friendship in this industry actually developed when we just I think we had a conversation just that just had nothing to do with like day game or pickup at all. And we were just talking about PlayStation games, and I think it was like from that we just knew like yeah, we were going to be friends. We just found this like commonality on something, and it just yeah, it just worked. We just had fun, and then that even meant that whenever he'd come and visit London, especially when I was living in London Bridge, he'd always sort of come and stay with me. But we would then have like really long weekends going out and cold approaching together, and it just made things so much better and so much more entertaining when I was going out and cold approaching with my best friend and group of best friends at the time as well. Everyone's kind of gone in different directions now, but that's a different story. But you know, when you're going out and cold approaching with your best friend, you you genuinely get so much more, I think, out of the time that you're doing it. You get better results, 100%, rather than going out with guys that, you're not really speaking to. The old school thing was like guys that end up like joining communities, they'd have a chat and like finding a wing to go out with and then be like, hey, you free this day, and then they go out and all they do is just chat pickup when they're going out, and they'll do it for a few hours, and then once the session is finished, they kind of like shake hands, part ways, and that's it. There's like no other communication out of it, and it's a bit weird doing that. And I think the full 180 was when I got to do it with like a really good friend anyway. But point being is like I've known Owen now for like 8 years, and we've gone out and we've cold approached together and whatnot, and we've seen like the highs and lows of doing pickup. But no matter what, we still stayed really really good friends. And I guess it's just something that I want guys to have as well. This idea that when you are doing pickup stuff, it's not just about meeting women. Like, think about the social skills that you're getting as you are able to just network and speak to new people. And there's something really cool about when you've got this commonality with other guys and you can just find some things that you've got in common. Like me and Owen, like we are super geeky. We actually love going to like Comic Cons and stuff, and going to the cinema and seeing like Marvel movies and things like that. But you don't hear guys in the industry who are doing all this sort of thing, which is just it's just really 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 it blows the mind in that sense. But it's just meant though that because of the friendship that we've got, um, I will always be supporting Owen, and he always supports me with stuff. And even though we don't live near each other, when we're on the phone, we're like old grandmas. Like we could just talk for hours upon hours about like just PlayStation and all sorts of things. But I stayed with Owen for the last couple of months, and kind of came back and forth to London as I was working with clients. But I stayed with Owen because he'd been in a relationship for 2 years, and I won't overshare anything here because it's certainly not my place. But his girlfriend does have mental health problems, and unfortunately, she had to sort of be sectioned for a little bit. But I think, well, I'm going to get Owen. I'm going to interview Owen at some point on the channel. It's just unfortunate in the time that I was out there, we didn't actually get a chance to do it with him working and me working and stuff. But um, with her then having these problems and being sectioned, Owen felt really alone. And when we had a chat on the phone, and I said, look, don't worry about it. Say no more. I'm going to come stay with you. I'm going to keep you company until she comes out. And the reason I'm officially back home now, back in London, is because she's actually now been discharged about 3 months earlier than we kind of expected, which is fantastic on one hand, but also got to just make sure that she does get the care and support that she needs when she does officially come out. But Owen, I think, was just really, really grateful for me to come and stay with him, just to keep him company, so he wasn't feeling alone during that time. And I just know if the shoe was on the other foot, he would have been more than happy to have supported me and been there and helped me out with anything had I ever, or touch wood, it doesn't happen, but I'm sure there will be a scenario that I will probably need my own support of something. But I think really what I'm getting at, and what again I want guys to understand, is that Owen wouldn't have had my support and we wouldn't have had this like amazing friendship over the years if we hadn't have both been open to the idea of having a friendship through the dating community and the dating industry. Um, and Owen is now literally probably like my best friend. Um, and so it's in a way it's why I'm so grateful for what I got to experience being introduced to the world of pickup and just meeting. I mean, I've met like thousands of guys, to be honest, over the years, which sounds far-fetched, but it's really not. When like every week I'd probably meet like a dozen new guys who were working with dating coaches or doing boot camps or residentials and stuff with coaches or companies as well. And and I've filmed and I've worked and consulted with enough of these companies anyway that I just got to meet like so many really cool guys along the way, and coaches as well. There are just some amazingly cool coaches out there. And I'm just grateful for just every moment of it and just the time that I've got to spend with people. And I'm just grateful that I got to meet Owen, and that came about because we actually went out to go and cold approach, and we just didn't talk about cold approaching. We just spoke about really geeky shit, and we just hit it off like that, and it just made again doing day game just way more fun than just going out with this like strategy of like, right, I've got to talk to women and that. It's like, no, we're just two best friends or two mates going out, having fun, enjoying our own company, but at the same time just trying to be more confident and better with women as well. So my takeaway for you all is, well, one, I am back in London for good. Now that his girlfriend is going to be discharged, I'm leaving them to carry on where things were, and and fingers crossed that that her health is really good and that she stays as healthy as she can, um, and that they both have that time and opportunity now to really just sort of like work together and just get back to where things were before, like 3 months ago. So that's number one, that I am now officially back in London, giving them the opportunity and the space that they need to have a really happy and fulfilled relationship. Two, I'm really glad that I was able to support my best friend in the time that he was struggling. And number three, our friendship wouldn't have happened had we not have met through the dating community. So be open to the guys that you're going out and winging with, or the guys that you meet on your forums or communities or WhatsApp chats and stuff. Get to know each other. Get to know like the real guys that you're speaking to, and find out like, is there an actual possibility of a friendship that could play out? And if there is, embrace it, hold on to it, give it a go, like, and see where it leads. And for all you know, you might then have like this social circle of friends that you never had or got to experience before, because maybe you were just really socially anxious or shy growing up, and now you've just made your own reality. You've created something out of nothing, all because you decided to take action and open yourself up to the possibility of making friends as well as having relationships. So I'm probably going to go and rest. I mean, I look an absolute mess anyway, which is to be expected. There's nothing normal there or abnormal there. But I'm in London. I'm more available now for coaching, which is great. I've had like loads of consultations come through, so I'm really over the moon that people are starting to step forward and just consider the idea that working on this side of authenticity with cold approaching and just trying to develop their own way of communicating to women rather than feeling like they've got to just copy what a dating coach says or just use like lines and routines and not connect with what they're saying. So yeah, I'm over the moon that I've got more guys that I'm going to be working with, which is brilliant. So I'm back in London more now. And I guess the other thing is that, yeah, I just hope that for the guys who are thinking about working on their social anxiety, don't just use it to meet and date women. If you are lacking in other areas of your life, like, such as having a community, having support of friends and stuff as well, then kind of simultaneously do it all. And even if that's by meeting other guys in the dating community as well, if you don't want to go to like speed networking of friends or take up hobbies and interests of stuff, be open to making friends. And I think you will be pleasantly surprised how over just months or even years you're going to develop such lifelong friendships that you will be so glad that you entered the dating community for. So I've been Dan, that dating anxiety guy. I'm going to go rest now. In fact, I think I'm probably going to go and have some tea actually, as it's tea time. So till the next time, guys, thank you very much for watching.